Okay, so ready to dive in. Today we're looking at this new Swiss film, The Sparrow in the Chimney. Sounds kind of, I don't know, intriguing, right? A little mysterious.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got this promotional material, which I guess is supposed to give us a little sneak peek.
Yeah, like a behind-the-scenes kind of thing. Sort of get a feel for the film before we can actually see it.
Right, before it hits theaters.
Exactly. So, first thing that jumps out, at least for me, is that it says this film is like the final part of a trilogy.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So this is the Zürcher brothers, right? They did The Strange Kitten.
Right, and The Girl and the Spider.
The Girl and the Spider. So this is like their third film about family life, which makes you kind of wonder, are we going to see some of the same characters, same themes?
Yeah. Like, is this like a continuation, or are they just exploring similar ideas each time? Makes you want to watch the other two, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And then, it also mentions all these film festivals where it's already been shown.
Oh, yeah. Like Locarno.
Vancouver, even Tokyo. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, those are some pretty big deal festivals, right?
Definitely. I mean, these festivals aren't just about, popcorn movies. They're looking for something a little deeper,
Yeah.
more artistic, what they call Arthouse cinema.
Yeah. More about like visual style and complex stories than just big explosions, right?
Exactly. And the success at the festivals, it's like a stamp of approval,
Mm-hmm.
Like, this film is worth watching.
Makes you think. It might appeal to people who like films that, make you think a little more, take their time.
Absolutely. And speaking of taking their time, the film is set in Rapperswil. It's in Switzerland, right?
Switzerland. Beautiful.
Okay.
And get this, they actually filmed for like 35 days in the same house.
35 days in one house. Wow. That's a long time for filming.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if the house is almost like a character in the film. You know what I mean?
Totally. I think you're right. In a lot of these like art house films, the setting is super important. Yeah. It's not just a backdrop. It has meaning.
Right. So maybe this house represents something about the family or their past.
Yeah.
Like all those memories trapped within the walls.
Could be. And the fact they spent so long filming there, I think it shows that they're really paying attention to every detail. Like, they're trying to create a really specific mood, a really specific atmosphere.
Yeah. And, the promotional material talks about the two main characters. We've got Karen. She's played by Maren Eggert.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Markus, played by Andreas Döhler.
Okay.
And it sounds like Karen, she's kind of the heart of the story. They say she's going through some pretty intense, like, inner turmoil.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They even specifically call out Maren Eggert's performance, like praising her acting.
So it seems like she's really, really carrying a lot of the emotional weight of the film.
Yeah. And one thing that kind of struck me was they say that the film avoids being too melodramatic, like over the top.
Yeah. Right. But they also say it leads to this climax that's both heartbreaking and redemptive.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, how do they pull that off? How do they create something that's really emotional without being, too cheesy or overblown?
Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, it sounds like a real challenge, right? To find that balance. Maybe it's all in the details, like the little moments between the characters.
Yeah. Like how the tension kind of builds up slowly into the surface. And, they also mentioned their mother. She's passed away, but she seems to be a big part of the conflict between them.
Oh, so like her absence is almost like a presence.
Yeah. Like a ghost hanging over them almost.
It reminds us, I think, that family relationships, they're never simple.
Definitely not.
I mean, there's so much history there. And they don't always end neatly,
Yeah. Yeah. There's always baggage. Always something left unsaid. It makes you think, what would it be like to go back to your childhood home with your family? All those memories coming back.
Oh, now that's a question. What emotions would come up for you?
I don't know. It's scary to think about.
Yeah.
But it also kind of makes you want to see this film to see how they deal with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and before I forget, this promotional material, they really pushed this Movie Ticket Films review ad.
Yeah.
Like multiple times. It's a little much, to be honest. But hey, maybe it's worth checking out if you're really into film analysis.
Maybe. But I think this deep dive has already given us a pretty good feel for the film.
Yeah.
I think what The Sparrow in the Chimney reminds us is that the most powerful stories, they're not always about these big dramatic events.
Right.
They're about the quiet moments, the unspoken feelings. And I think this film is going to explore that beautifully.
So for all you film buffs out there, keep an eye out for The Sparrow in the Chimney. Who knows? Maybe it'll spark some interesting conversations around your own dinner table.
You know, if those walls could talk, what stories would they tell?